My people's interesting stuff going down between Devin and Keyshawn, and is Shakur gonna get in the mix up in here? We're gonna talk about it in today's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. My people's is going down in about 1 minute. Be ready, y'all. Bam, bam, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science nice and early in the morning, my peoples. We talking boxing. We got a good episode of Boxing for Breakfast for you. Salute to everybody who's already tuning in. JJ's in there, has Toy Mafia, R30's already in the building. Fellas, y'all seen what went down yesterday? Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney, they got to that deadline. No deal in place. They couldn't agree to anything. I don't even know. We don't even know if Devin want to make that fight, but they headed for purse bid. Now here's the deal. When it comes to that purse bid, we get right to it. No beating around the bush, fellas. The starting bid is 200,000, right? Nobody's gonna win the the rights to that fight with $200,000, right? There's gonna be millions going into it. Here's the thing that you need to consider in this situation. The winner of this purse bid can end up bidding $5 million and win the purse bid. And if that happens, Devin Haney is gonna get, if I'm not mistaken, like 80% or 85, and Keyshawn get like between 15 and 20. I don't remember off the top of my head. But what I want you guys to understand is that Devin Haney can choose between making a little bit of money fighting Keyshawn Davis or making a shitload of money fighting Shakur Stevenson. Now what? Now how does this whole situation play out? Because there's a deadline here. This what you have to see. First, they had that deadline for them to agree to terms, and they didn't. Why? Because Devin Haney wants to fight Shakur Stevenson. Bill Haney has made that clear in many different social media platforms. So how does this really play out? I'm starting to feel like it's gonna be Devin and Shakur next. That's how I'm really started to feel. Why? Well, why hasn't Devin come to an agreement with Keyshawn Davis? Because he's not trying to fight him. He not trying to fight him, my peoples. You see Keyshawn all over the place saying, yo, I want you. You scared of me. You ducking me. So we know the businessman is not gonna step aside, my peoples. He's not gonna step aside. So what is Devin gonna do? We don't know, right? They haven't told us. But if this thing already went to purse bid, it tells you that they're not trying to make that fight. There's been no negotiations between Devin and Keyshawn. They're not talking to Keyshawn. You know how many fights I've seen going a purse bid that never materialized into a fight. Fellas, when a fight goes to purse bid, that means two things. Number one, we can't come to an agreement when we in negotiations. And number two, most importantly, the champion ain't even talking to you. If the champion ain't even talking to you or trying to work with you, it's going to purse bid. That's what happened right here. The decision was made yesterday. Now they have a certain date, and that's when the purse bid is going to take place. Do y'all remember when's the last time Devin Haney went to purse bid or was headed to purse bid? Let me be the one to remind you. The last time Devin Haney was headed to purse bid was when Shakur Stevenson was his mandatory in the 135 division. That's when he made the 25% offer and then promptly left the division and vacated the titles. So if he's going to purse bid right now, what does that tell you is probably going to happen? You just got to be honest with yourself and see what's coming. The lunatic libertarian. The cope is real for Spence fans. They living from 10 years ago. Rosa Andre. The bully Devin is very good, but I think Keyshawn Davis will give him a big problem. Styles make fights, Jay Smith. I agree with you 100%. I think this is a real good fight. I just don't think it's happening. The fact that it's going to purse bid, I think that right there tells the real story. And I want you to take this under consideration because that's why I think the purse bid is important. So far, we have never seen Bill Haney, because you know that Bill is the one talking most of the time. He manages his son, and he's the one, out there also promoting him. We've never seen Bill once say that we want to fight Keyshawn, we negotiating with Keyshawn, we talking to him, nothing. So what I would call an educated assumption is that they're not even talking to Keyshawn Davis. And that's why they landed in that purse bid. That's why they headed for purse bid. It's not the same like when two champions are arguing about it, are arguing about the amount of money that they won, or going back and forth, and it ended up in purse bid because they couldn't agree. That happens. But this is not the case. They not even talking. This is going to purse bid because Keyshawn won't step aside. Back talk media, $200K minimum. No money in it. So now Devin has a fight where he could defend the title for a little bit of money relatively speaking. Because even if you make $2 million, that's more money than all of us ever made, right? But relatively speaking, a small purse. Or he can vacate that title and fight Shakur Stevenson for a career payday. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my peoples. Rosa Andre, after Devin lost to Ryan Garcia, seems like he's been very selective of who he's going to fight. Well, but you got to take into consideration, if he's going to fight Shakur Stevenson, he's fighting the best. And it's looking like he's headed in that direction. And here's the thing. Imagine Bill and Devin choosing to fight Keyshawn for $5 million over fighting Shakur for 30, 20, 25, or whatever amount it is. I know it's going to be a shitload of money. This is where we are right now. Back talk media, Bill wanted 2 for 5, but Jay Prince won't let it happen. Shakur and Keyshawn, they all split $100 million. Rosa Andre, Keyshawn Davis is a very problematic fighter for today's superstar champions. I mean, he's headed to becoming one of today's superstar champions. He's headed in that direction. So, look, the way this thing plays out is that there's a group of guys who they'll all be big. You know, When you think about Keyshawn Davis, when you think about Abdullah Mason, when you think about even Carmel Moulton coming up, when you look at Shakur Stevenson, all these fighters in reality are the elite. They're the best. So they're going to stand out, all of them. But the magic question is, where does Devin Haney go from here? Does he go for a purse bid, less money, or does he fight Shakur for a lot more? A lot. Like it's not even close. It's not even close. You guys don't understand how much of a difference money-wise it is going to a purse bid to fight Keyshawn or fighting Shakur Stevenson. Money-wise, the difference is astounding. Pugilism, purse bid, a game of spades. Network promoters don't want to get set under calling their books, get caught reneging, cutting ahead, and penalized for sandbagging, not reading their books right. So here's the thing about the purse bid. Once you go to purse bid, there's going to be, people bidding for that fight. And everybody wants to spend as little money as possible to get the rights. So what happens is, let me give you an example. One promotional company for this fight is going to offer $2 million, hoping the others offer less. Another company is going to offer 4. Another company. So everybody's bidding low. Nobody's going to bid $50 million for this fight. Nobody's going to bid a shitload of money. I guarantee you 100%. So it's going to be for Devin between make a little bit of money here, and like I said, a little bit of money relatively speaking. Because for us, the average person, is a shitload of money. But compared to what he would make fighting Shakur, it's peanuts. It's peanuts. And then I keep reminding you guys what happened the last time that Devin Haney was headed for a purse bid. What happened? Do you remember? Back talk media, Devin gets 8 million a fight, 2 up front. All respectfully, of course. I mean, if you go to purse bid, that's not the way that it works, bro. That's not the way that it works. Where are you getting 8 million from? If the purse bid is 5 million, if the winner of the purse bid is 5 million, how is Devin going to get 8? And how is Keyshawn going to get 2? How are they going to get $10 million if the winner got it for 5? Back talk media, not purse, but Turkey. But that's the thing, my guy. Turkey's not making this fight. He's not making this fight. You know that Keyshawn is a top-ranked fighter, my guy. Turkey not making this fight. Turkey will make Shakur and Devin, though. He'll make that. He wants to make that. They trying to make that. Turkey not making this fight, my guy. So you put in money that is not going to be allocated to this fight. Was the money that's going towards this one is whoever wins the purse bid. Underrated. Well, watching Jay Smith from TV screen is different. Ooh, appreciate you, my guy. Bam. We on TV. We made it. Mom, we made it. Nah, but real talk, my peoples. This situation right here, and it might sound crazy, and I don't think you're gonna see anybody else in any other platform saying what I'm telling you right now. The fact that this thing went to purse bid suggested Jay Stradamus, as I look into my crystal ball, that Keyshawn Davis is gonna fight somebody else for a vacant title, and Devin Haney is gonna fight Shakur Stevenson next. Next. Now, how did I come up with this assessment? You might say, damn, Jay's crazy. He already assuming that. He going all the way to that fight? For Jay Stradamus, that's easy work. Too easy, in fact. I'm simply looking at the historical data. Historical data has already showed me that when a fight is going to purse bid, there's only two problems that could be taking place. Number one, the fighters cannot come to an agreement on the split, so they go to purse bid. And number two, the champion don't want to fight the challenger, so they go to purse bid. Because the sanctioning body is going to say, oh, you can't agree on anything, we're going to purse bid. And after the purse bid, you don't want to fight, we're stripping you. What happened the last time Devin Haney was going to purse bid? Nobody answered that for me, so I'll go ahead and answer it myself. It was Shakur Stevenson. When Devin Haney was at 135, Shakur Stevenson was his mandatory. They couldn't agree when Devin offered the 25%, so then it was going to purse bid. 3 days or 4 days before the purse bid, Devin vacated and left the division. Now, he's going to purse bid with Keyshawn Davis. Have you seen him negotiating with Keyshawn? Have you seen Bill saying, yo, we're trying to make the fight with Keyshawn? Have you seen Keyshawn say, we're going to make it happen? No. Bill and Devin, they ain't even been talking to Keyshawn like he don't exist. That's why this is going to purse bid. There's no negotiations between the two parties. So if the sanctioning body mandated the fight months ago and is now headed to purse bid, is there anything about this whole situation that tells you Devin intends to fight in Keyshawn? Just look at the whole picture. The lunatic libertarian, it's all theater. Listen, what Devin is doing right now is being a businessman. He's trying to keep, he is keeping his options open. Because until right now, he can fight either guy. Right now, today, he can say, you know what, let me fight Keyshawn. Or you know what, let me fight Shakur. He keeping them options open. And maybe even trying to get some negotiating leverage by saying, look, Shakur, give me this and this, because I got Keyshawn right there and I could go fight him. You're not my only option. I got somebody else right there. But right now, Shakur has the leverage. Why? Shakur doesn't have to fight Devin. He simply wants to. He doesn't have to. He could say, I'm good right here at 140. Keep doing you. Go fight Keyshawn for a few millions. He wants to fight him. Turkey wants to make the fight. They all want to make the fight. But to add to the cherry on top, you'll make a shitload of money more fighting Shakur than you will fighting Keyshawn. What are you going to decide to do? Pugilism been consistent here for the past 2 months after Albright fight was always going to be Haney versus Keyshawn. And it's not going to be. Watch. It's not going to be. I'm telling you, Haney's not going to fight Keyshawn. This is the reason why they headed to purse bid. And here's the thing that tells you I'm right, Pugilism. They went all the way to purse bid without a single round of negotiations with Keyshawn Davis. I want you to take that into consideration. Please take that into consideration. Not a single round of negotiations to say, let's fight. And they're already in the purse bid. Do you see intentions that they planning on fighting Keyshawn? You don't. You don't, my guy. The thing is that once you say, yo, it's going to be Keyshawn and Devin, you want to hold on to that. You want to hold on to that hope so you could be right. That shit is not gonna happen. Jay Stradamus already told you it's not gonna happen. I already seen what happened when Devin Haney went to purse bid with Shakur. What he do? He left the division. Now he headed to purse bid with Keyshawn Davis. Bill said they want Shakur. Devin said they want Shakur. Turkey said they want to make Shakur and Devin. Shakur said he want Devin. Nobody saying they want Keyshawn. So, bro, it's not happening. I know you want it to happen and you want to be right about it happening. It's not gonna happen, bro. Keyshawn Davis and Devin Haney will not fight next. Take that to the bank to get some pounds and tell them Jay Smith told you. Remember that. Screenshot it, take a picture, whatever you want to do. They're not gonna fight. The fact that they headed to purse bid already told me that they're not gonna fight. 6'8" giant Haney don't want that fight. If he did, he would have made and not let it go that far. Of course, my guy. When you go to purse bid, you make less money. Nobody want to go to purse bid. You know what the promoters do when they go to purse bid? They offer as little as possible. They trying to get a bargain. Somebody gonna show up to that purse back. Let me put it to you like this, because the purse bid is made public. We'll get to know what they offer for this fight. I bet you that there's gonna be a promoter that's gonna offer $2 million for this fight. Bet you 100%. And then the other ones are gonna offer gradually more. And I don't know how much the winning bid is gonna offer. But what I'm telling you is that when a fight go to purse bid, there's already problems with the fight being made. If not, it would have got made. What was it, like 3 months ago that it was mandated? And you've seen zero interest from Devin and Bill to fight Keyshawn. Zero. There isn't a single clip that you can find where Bill is saying, we want to fight Keyshawn next. Not one, bro. But you'll find a lot of clips of Bill saying, we want to fight Shakur. Sign the contract, Shakur. Let's fight Shakur. You get a lot of that. That right there tells you what's going on next. You see, that's why I'm Jay Stradamus. I see shit coming from a mile away. When it happens, I'll be like, damn, man, I've been trying to tell you for months. And you're like, yeah, but I thought it was going to happen for this reason, and I thought it was going to happen for that reason. You should have been listening to me, my God. Keyshawn Davis, Devin Haney, not happening. Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, happening. Ooh, I'm excited. You should be excited, my people. So I'm giving you some great news. We're going to get Shakur and Devin. That hasn't been announced. Nothing. You know what's happening? I'm going to even tell you what's happening right now. Pugilism. I'm going to tell you what's going on right now. As the time gets closer to the actual purse bid, Shakur and Devin is negotiating. So, of course, Devin people, they negotiating that fight. Nobody talking to Keyshawn. You should already know that fight not happening by the fact that nobody talking to him. He talking to himself like, I want you. I want you. Nobody even responded to him, bro. You should know how this thing plays out. But I'm telling you, Devin and Shakur, they in business. They talking. They trying to figure it out. Shakur already told them, drop the belt first and let's do it. So guess what? There's a very good possibility that before the purse bid date arrives, Shakur actually and Devin come to an agreement, and the agreement, Devin vacates, and they announce Shakur versus Devin next. And I'm telling you this because I want at least the people that are here, you know, it's 23 of us. At least the people that are in here, I want you at least to say, damn, Jay told us. Jay told us. Blood Eagle. Blood Eagle Meagle. Don't forget, Bill Haney is it's a matchup genius. Bill Haney is a master negotiator. He's a master negotiator. But since we agreed to that, right? I want you to think about this. Blood Eagle. We agree on Bill Haney's business savvy, right? So if they have the option to fight Keyshawn Davis, to throw out a number, let's say for $6 million, and he's not gonna make that fighting Keyshawn on a purse bid, hell no. But I'll throw that number out there. Let's say he could fight Keyshawn for $6 million, or he can fight Shakur for $25 million. What does a businessman really do in this case? Two left, folks. Hit the like button, my peoples. Come on, man. 2026. No ghost watching. Double tap that screen. Pugilism. They're at the point of their career. If their fighter loses to either, it's a respectable loss and everyone can move forward. That's a fact. That's a fact. Listen, if you look at Keyshawn, Devin, Shakur, anybody who takes the first loss out of those three is going to move on, become a champion again, and continue to accomplish. Any one of them. But you guys know we're in the social media era. The first one of them to lose, people are going to say that they got exposed, that they not as good as people thought they was, and that there was a hype job. You guys know how that goes. You guys know the round of hate that goes after a fighter take a L. That's going to happen. If Keyshawn loses to Devin, or he got exposed, but Keyshawn is not going to fight Devin, I'm telling you that's not going to happen. That's it. I already know it. You might think that I believe it, or that I'm assuming it, or that I'm Jay Stradamus, bro. I know he's not fighting. These two, they're not fighting each other next. That's it. Going to purse bid? Nobody expressing interest in wanting the Keyshawn fight. And when I say nobody, I'm talking about Bill, Devin, their team. They not looking at Keyshawn. They not talking to Keyshawn. They not fighting Keyshawn. That's what that means. 6'8" giant. They're going to announce the Core versus Devin at the Zuffa Berlanga card on the 26th, the day before the purse bid, on the 27th. That can happen. That can happen. They could announce it, or this can also happen. They could be real close to making the fight, and there's some details that they still haven't agreed on. And right before the purse bid, Devin vacates to finish up those negotiations. That could happen too. Because here's the thing. I boxed before, right? I got one professional fight, which I lost, by the way. But when I fought, my contract was 2 pages. 2 pages. So I want you guys to think about that. When you're starting off, and when you're, a nobody, I was a nobody getting in the ring, right? You don't have a complicated, huge contract, because there's not a lot of things to contemplate. You're not making a shitload of money. But when you talk about fighting at this level, them contracts be having pages and pages and pages and pages about a lot of different things that my contract don't have to have. So sometimes there's so many little details that we're trying to agree on that the negotiations could take longer. But the fact that Keyshawn versus Devin went to purse bid, and they not talking to each other, they not negotiating, this team is not expressing any interest in that team, it already tell me what's going on. They not going to fight for a relatively, smaller amount of money, with Keyshawn, when they could fight Shakur in a much bigger fight. Not going to happen. Because, listen, no matter what we think is going to happen next, or what we want to happen next, I don't think there's anybody here that's going to say Devin versus Keyshawn is a bigger fight. I don't think a single person in here will say, yeah, this is the bigger fight. Here's the fight that I think is going to make the most money, and that is going to get the most views and the most whatever. It's not. We all know this. So Devin now has the option. Do I defend, or do I make the bigger fight? Do I make the most money? That's the decision they're gonna have to make. And I already told you what decision they probably already made. They probably already decided that they're gonna fight Shakur next. And people still having that hope, like, nah, it might be Devin. I mean, it might be Keyshawn. It could be Keyshawn because man, you know how many purse bids I've seen to not materialize into a fight. I've seen so many of those. Purse bid, that's what you have to understand. Once a fight goes to purse bid, there's never a guarantee that is actually going to happen. If it goes to purse bid, in fact, it's a good possibility that it won't happen because we haven't been able to agree in most. How are we going to agree in this little bit of time for less money? I still remember, let me give you an example. Bubu Andre versus I can't pronounce this dude's name. But Bubu Andre, the guy that Crawford was going to move down and fight him. And then he tested positive. Bubu Andre went to purse bid with him. And they offered such a little bit of money that Bubu walked away. They were like, nah, I'm good. I don't know if they offer like 800,000 or some shit like that. Some crazy low number. Crazy low number. Bubu walked away. He didn't fight. He vacated. He didn't take that shit. I'm not going to fight for that much money. So if you see Devin Haney, a star fighter who's been making millions of dollars per fight, headed to a purse bid, you should already know what's going on, fam. You should already know. Stay on topic, my peoples. We're not talking about other people. Pugilism, Bill looking for Key. And Key about to pull up with Ice Cube and the low rider. I don't know how you get that Bill's looking for Key when he trying to make the fight with Shakur and actually ignoring Key. 2 left hooks. Let's see how it all play out. Either way, we all will be excited for either fight. I mean, both of those fights are real good fight. But I'm telling you, pugilism, you want to be right so bad that you don't see what's happening right in front of your eyes, my guy. I know you said it was going to be Keyshawn and Devin from the beginning, and you've been consistent with it. There is absolutely nothing about what's going on to suggest that fight is happening. Nothing. No interest from Devin, no interest from Bill, no negotiation at most. Keyshawn Davis arguing with himself on social media because Devin won't even respond to him. I don't know what you're seeing. Ain't nobody chasing Keyshawn but the reporters that want to talk about it, my guy. Blood equals mingle. Haney looking for that big payday. I mean, of course, it's a business. It's a business. I'll either defend for a relatively smaller amount of money, or I'll vacate the title and go make a shitload of money with Shakur. It's a no-brainer. I already know what's happening. Jake said, 18 likes. Damn, my people. The ghost watching is crazy. Pugilism. He gets the hate. But I don't even know what hate you talking about, bro. Like you going in a whole different direction. We're not even talking about De Los Santos or none of that stuff. I'm simply explaining to you why he's not gonna fight Devin Haney, bro. The De Los Santos stuff and all those other things have nothing, and people hating, that got nothing to do with Devin Haney wanting to do the bigger fight, making the more money. Cause look, I'm gonna ask you a simple question, pugilism. What's the bigger fight? Devin Haney versus Keyshawn Davis? Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson? In your personal opinion, what is the bigger fight? A very simple question, right? So that answer should tell you why Devin Haney is going to make the decision he's going to make. That's the decision. Pugilism, Shakur bigger, short term. He bigger, long term. You do realize that now you're going into the field of speculation. I asked you a question and you added your speculation. I disagree with what you just said, but Okay, that's your speculation. But you understand that Shakur Stevenson is the bigger fight. Do you understand it? You acknowledged it. So thank you for that. So if you're a businessman, who are you gonna do the bigger fight or the smaller fight? It's easy to see it. The playback zone. I figured Devin will go after another champ if the Shakur fight doesn't happen. And I agree with you 100%. In fact, I would expect him to defend versus Keyshawn if the Shakur fight couldn't happen. But based on everything that's going on, he's not going to fight no Keyshawn Davis, man. That's just wishful thinking. Cuervo boxing talk. Keyshawn been one of my favorite for a while, but I don't think Davis will the Davis fight will happen either. It's look how easy it is for me to see that Cuervo boxing talk, and I'm pretty sure when I say this, you're gonna consider it. Watch this. When is the last time that Devin Haney went to a purse bid? When he was at 135, Shakur was his mandatory. He made the 25% offer, and about 3-4 days before they got to the purse bid, Devin Haney vacated the title and left the division. People only remember the 25% offer for some reason. They don't remember what happened afterwards. He was headed for purse bid. And that's where he was going. He opted out of that joint. Now, he's headed to purse bid again. Again going to purse bid. So what does that mean? Not only is he going to purse bid again, this is a very important factor. They have expressed zero interest in fighting Keyshawn Davis next. The fight was mandated months ago, and they haven't had a single round of negotiations with Keyshawn. Does that look like they want to do business with him next? Does that look like they want to fight him next? Of course not. Anybody who thinks this fight is happening next, that's wishful thinking. Keyshawn, you're watching Keyshawn Davis literally argue with himself on social media because Devin won't even respond to him. And Bill keeps telling us in every single platform that he goes on that they want Shakur next. What more do we need to know what's going to happen next? Not to mention when you go to purse bid, that's where you make the least amount of money. Because promoters are going to offer the least amount of money. They're trying to get a bargain. They're trying to get a bargain. So what is Devin going to do? He going to make $5-6 million against Keyshawn, or he going to make 25 against Shakur? Well, the answer is too easy for me. I've been watching Bill and Haney do business and be about that money and be about them fights. They're going to go after the bigger fight. They're going to go after the bigger fight. 2 left hooks. Devin versus Shakur and Keyshawn versus Andy should be on the same card. F it. Now, Andy Cruz is not going to get that Keyshawn fight that easily. He's going to have to earn that because remember, he took a L and now he's on the come up again. He won his last fight, devastating fashion, looked real good, but he's going to have to earn that Keyshawn fight. So we're probably a few years away from that one. Pasta track. This is an easy fight for Haney. This guy should have to fight someone in the division first. And that's fair. You know, he hasn't even made his debut at welterweight and became a mandatory. So that's fair. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. I see Devin Haney, and I said it before, because I don't see no other platform saying this. Devin Haney will fight Shakur Stevenson next. That's it. I know this. I know this. Saw it in my crystal ball. Cuervo boxing talk. I'm not totally upset with how Haney moves either. Look at Devin Haney's career. Look at Devin's career thus far. Look at the fights that he's made, the fights that he's been involved with. You know, Devin Haney has proven to be one of the greats of this era, one of the best fighters out today. Pasta track. Haney getting whooped then. You got Shakur beating him. Well, if he get whooped, you're going to get whooped for a lot more money. than stepping in the ring with Keyshawn Davis. That's for sure. Whoa, my people, the lunatic libertarian turning the screen green. Appreciate you, my brother. What you got for me? Shakur beats Haney by 12-0-11, one decision. Haney has no excuses. Got beat by a bigger guy and a smaller guy. One with steroids, one with pure skills. I mean, so he did get beat by Ryan Garcia, but we have to acknowledge it was overturned and it's a no contest. That's a no contest. So yes, Ryan Garcia gave him the beating of a lifetime, but that decision was overturned. We have to remember the 3 pounds and the positive test. But you're right. You're right. I gotta give it to you. Positive test. Overturned. There you have it. Right now, Devin Haney is an undefeated fighter. We have to acknowledge that. He ain't never took an L. Well, he took an L, but it was overturned. He undefeated. Ain't never been beat. Because once it's overturned, that's it. Pass a track. Nah. I'm saying what you saying, though. What you saying? With my phone now, I look. I show you Devin Haney's record. He got that. Oh. He got it. Blood equals mingle. We just can't unsee what we saw. No, we never gonna be able to unsee that beating. You're right. I could close my eyes and see Devin when he had that face swole up looking like Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles. That's never gonna leave my memory. But that O is right there. Pass the track. I saw the fight, Jay Smith. That fight was wow. The thing is that Devin was having good moments in that fight too. He just kept getting hurt. He kept getting clipped with that left hook, which was crazy. It was surreal to watch it the way that it played out. You know why? I watched Devin Haney for like 2 months telling us, all he got is a left hook. All he got is a left hook. And then he consistently pummeled with the left hook. Pass the track. He looked like a paraplegic, damn. When his face was like, but again, we can't remember that without accepting that he's undefeated and it was overturned and Ryan is considered to have cheated. Allegedly. Because the positive test, we could go back and forth about that. Could he have consumed something that was tainted? Could the test have been tampered with? There's things that you could question. You can't question those 3 pounds. And Ryan Garcia said it himself that Floyd told him to show up 3 pounds overweight. So you can't say I beat you without admitting that you cheated and that it was overturned. JJ said that can't overturn the beating of a lifetime. You can't do it. You really can't. The playback zone. Yeah, it's crazy that he said that. Like he was trying to play mind games and make Ryan abandon his left and right and fight differently. But if he spent the entire training camp telling us that all Ryan Garcia has is a left hook, how does he keep getting hit with the left hook and drop with the left hook? That was surreal to witness. I was not expecting that. None of us were expecting it. Matter of fact, you got to remember, Ryan Garcia was acting crazy leading up to the fight and going through all these situations. And matter of fact, he does deal with mental health issues. So he was going through it. He was having those episodes leading up to the fight. But then he showed up and gave Devin a beating. Go get the money. Bam! Salute, family. In case you don't know, my brother, because you may have just showed up this morning. I don't know if you was here earlier. Let me be the one to tell you, Devin Haney is not going to fight Keyshawn Davis. Forget about that. He's going to end up in the ring with Shakur Stevenson next. Jay Stradamus is the one who told you this. Now, how do I know this? They go on a purse bid with Keyshawn. They're not gonna fight. They're not gonna fight. Devin's either gonna get stripped or he's gonna vacate. One or the other. Pass the track. Yeah, like that dude I beat up in high school, but say he just had to fight his little sister that morning. Yeah, the car wreck, that devastating accident. Devin Ford, he forgot to say it was a sneaky left hook. Damn, bro. It's like, oh, he got us a left hook. Oh, he got us a left hook. Boom, left hook. Boom, left hook. Boom, boom, left hooks. How does that happen? I'm thinking Devin, he's so nice defensively that he's gonna see that left hook coming. And honestly, my thought was, and by the way, if you haven't seen Jay Stradamus get a prediction wrong, I got Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney wrong. I like, nah, Ryan is acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Devin Haney focused. He already know about the left hook. If Ryan is lucky, he gonna land one good one and stun him, and then that's it. You won't land another one. This bro was giving Devin a sack of left hooks. He showed up with a sack full of left hooks and gave Devin each and every one of them, to the mouthpiece, to the snack box, to the temple. Pugilism. I got the Ryan bet, and it wasn't overturned, but I lost Brian Norman. Oh no, I got the Brian Norman right. I told people Devin Haney was gonna smoke Brian Norman Jr. I didn't know he was gonna drop him, but I say, yo, he gonna smoke him. They not on the same level. People gonna understand what levels is really about. Pass the track. RG is fast with the right hand. Now two, and talking smack. Oh no, that right hand. Barrios found out about the right hand. Vicious. Barrios hit the canvas, starting the fight from a right hand. Boom! Sit down. From a right hand, Barrios visited the canvas. The playback zone. He was Santa Claus giving out left hooks like Christmas gifts. I'm telling you, man, he showed up with a sack of left hooks. Go get the money. In my opinion, I believe Devin doesn't want to fight Keyshawn. It's too much of a big risk. I mean, honestly, I think that he doesn't want to fight Keyshawn because it's a lot more money in the Shakur fight. And it's a way bigger fight. If the Shakur fight was not available, I think we will see Devin defending against Keyshawn Davis. Which is why Bill been saying, we want to fight both of them. But now that Shakur is the money man, now that Shakur signed with Zuffa, oh yeah, we want that turkey money. Well, we need that type of bag. The playback zone. Ryan was using that jab in the Mario fight too. His jab looks strong as hell, fast, strong hand. But if you think about it, Ryan has always had a real good jab. It's just that it seemed to be more consistent. He's using it more. But he's always had a real fast, real snappy jab. I'm not sure, but I think I seen him drop somebody from a jab, but I'm not sure. Pass the track. I think Devin beats Keyshawn, no doubt. I got Devin Haney beating Keyshawn Davis. Like if they was to fight next, which they won't, I got him winning that fight. A tough one. Keyshawn Davis is gonna be the best fighter he ever faced. Pugilism. Bud revealed how Canelo fumbled his rematch clause. And Key from Norfolk, Key waiting to grant Haney a one rematch clause regardless if it's a mandatory. Well, my guy, I think you need to understand for a mandatory, there is no rematch clause. There's no such thing as a rematch clause for a mandatory because you got to fight him. You have to fight him. I'm going to put it to you like this, pugilism. I've never seen ever a mandatory where the champion had a rematch clause. You don't get a rematch clause with your mandatories. Simply don't. Your mandatory has all the leverage over you to fight you. They don't have to give you a mandatory because you either fight me or you vacate. No such thing as a mandatory who gets a rematch clause. What are you talking about, my guy? You see, now you're talking about what you think should happen. There's rules in play, my guy. It's the rules that are applied, not what you think should happen, bro. You know, he earned the rematch clause. No, no, my guy, you don't get rematch clause. Don't. It doesn't work that way. The way that it works is that if you got a mandatory, you got to fight him. You got to get in the ring with him. You don't want to get in the ring with him. We're gonna strip you. That's the way that it works. You don't put your own conditions to defend your mandatory, bro. That's what you're doing. To defend mandatory, give me my rematch clause. I'm sorry, bro, but rules don't work that way. Just because it should be that way doesn't mean it's gonna be that way. You want it to be in a way that it matches what you want to see so that you can be right. You're focusing on wanting to be right than on the reality of the rules and the reality of the way that things play out. You got to be realistic at some point, pugilism, because once Shakur and Keyshawn step in the ring, are you gonna say, "Yo, Jay, you was right, man. You saw it coming," or you're gonna say, "Well, you know what should have happened, and the way I think it should have played out is that he should have still fought Keyshawn." That's what you're gonna say. Should have, could have, would have. Forget about what you think should happen, my guy. There's rules in play. You're never gonna see a mandatory who has to give the champion a rematch clause. That doesn't exist. It sounds good to help you be right in what you thought was going to happen, but it's not going to happen. Pass the track. The mandatory can allow mandatory if he wins, though, right? So here it goes. Let me break it down. If you're a world champion and I'm your mandatory, and I'm sure you guys know this, what happens is you either fight me as your mandatory or vacate, or you pay me step aside money. We talk to the sanctioning body, or we came to an agreement, and instead of fighting now, we're gonna fight next. He's gonna do him, and then we're gonna fight next. That can be done. But as far as the defense and the actual fight, you as the champion will never get a rematch clause to fight your mandatory. Your mandatory, once he beats you, if he does, and grabs that title, it's up to him to fight you if he wants to. He doesn't have to. You have no leverage in how this situation plays out. None. You either fight or you vacate. That's it. Now, once the mandatory becomes a champion, if he does, the guy he beat will never become his mandatory right after, because that would be the same as a rematch clause. Devin will never be Keyshawn's mandatory. There's a list. So if Keyshawn beats Devin, he's going to have a different mandatory. And if Devin want to fight Keyshawn, he got to earn that fight. Want me to give you an example? Look at Andy Cruz. What happened with Andy Cruz? He lost to Murataya. He wanted a rematch. He didn't get a rematch because that's a fight that was mandated for the title. No rematch. Murataya decided to go in a different route. What Andy Cruz had to do? Had to fight somebody else. If you want to fight Murataya, guess what? He got to win, and then become a mandatory and earn that fight, because Murataya is not just going to give it to him. Murataya is not just going to say, come on, let's do this rematch. But if he becomes Murataya's mandatory, which he's working on, then the fight will have to happen or Murataya can vacate. He got to work himself back in to the Murataya fight. If Devin was to lose to Keyshawn, he would have to work himself into that fight. That's the way that it actually works. Those are the rules, my people. I don't make them. I just repeat. Go get the money. They'll say Keyshawn on the list. I think we're getting Dev versus Key next. Yeah, that fight's not happening. It's not happening at all. You don't have to listen to me. Go get the money. I just hope that you come back and you say, yo, Jay, again, you told me. That's all I'm asking. Pugilism, that's all I'm asking. When Devin Haney versus Shakur Stevenson is announced, I just hope you guys come in here and be like, yo, Jay, you try to tell us. You try to tell us. And we will not listen to you. And you even broke it down step by step as to why this fight is not happening. I try to break it down for you. When it plays out the way I told you, I hope you come through and be like, yeah, man, yeah. You did tell us, Jay, exactly the way that it was going to play out. And it played out like that. Matter of fact, when the Shakur versus Devin fight is announced, I'd appreciate it if you show up and address me as Jay Stradamus. Show up and be like, yo, what's up, Jay Stradamus? Pass the track. Beat the champion. My show now. Pugilism. It's fair. That's a good name. Beat the champion. Pugilism. It's fair to Haney as a champ to be granted. Oh, yes, it's fair. You're expressing your opinion, bro. It's only fair because you want to be right. You thought this fight was going to happen, so you're looking for ways that it could happen. It's not going to happen, pugilism. You're going to have to suck that one up. You're going to have to accept it. No matter what you think is fair, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen. You're going to have to see my face. When they announce Keyshawn versus Shakur, you know what's the first thing you're going to think about pugilism? Me. You're gonna look at the breaking news on your cell phone. You're gonna be like, damn, Shakur versus Devin. Instead of being excited for such a great fight, your first reaction is gonna be disappointed that you were so clearly wrong. And then you're gonna think about me and everything that I tried to tell you, and say, damn, this dude was right. This dude is really Jay Stradamus. You're going to see it yourself. And you've seen it before, but you're going to see it again. Pass the track. Where's Tank? Dancing Tank still making noise. Haven't been able to keep up. Is he done with court? Wait a minute. Tank Davis is in Australia helping with Errol's man's training camp. I seen him work in the past with Errol. So Tank is in boxing. He's not fighting himself, but he's involved. Jay is in has 25 likes. Let's get more. Please, no ghost watching. Oh, my God, the ghost watching has been incredible. Pass the track. No, I'm saying if he, the mandatory, beats the champion, then it's the mandatory show then. I'm not sure what you mean, the mandatory show then. But if the mandatory beats the champion, he's going to have his own mandatory then. And it will not be the champion. It's going to be somebody else. The champion now got to earn his way back to that fight. The libertarian turning the screen blue. What you got for me, brother? Appreciate you. Spence gets retired Saturday. Look, I'm going to tell you like this, the lunatic libertarian. A lot of people is telling me that Spence is going to take the beating of a lifetime. I'm still not sure. Man. I don't know. It's hard for me to make that prediction because I never seen Errol at 160. I haven't seen him in 3 years. I don't know what he's going to look like. So I have questions. The playback zone, Shakur versus Devin, going to be a catchweight. They're going to fight at 144. They've been telling us this already, my guy. They've already told us this. It's going to be at a catchweight like Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo Alvarez was a catchweight. Like Floyd Mayweather versus this guy, the Mexican dude was a catch. Floyd had multiple catchweights in his career. De La Hoya had multiple catchweight fights in his career. All the great fighters, most of the great fighters fought at catchweight. So what's the big deal? Devin agreed. Shakur agreed. Great fight. I don't care about me personally. I don't care where they fight. You're never going to see me talking about the catchweight. Whether they fight at 140, 147, 144, 150, I don't care. I just want to see Shakur and Devin in the ring together. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. And that's all I'm going to get. I'm excited. I'm excited for that fight because it's going to happen, my peoples. And I was almost losing hope with that. Go get the money. So retires the shark. I'm going to tell you this, go get the money. There's a lot of people feeling like Errol's going to take the beating of a lifetime on Saturday. Pasta trap. So Tank is allowed to leave the country to help in another camp. What the F? Tank should be stepping up and be in shape, waiting for the Haney Shakur results. But he wants the Roach fight, right? So honestly, we don't know what Tank wants. What has been reported is that PBC wanted to make the rematch with Pitbull, and Tank is more interested in the Roach rematch. Because of the way the fight played out with Lamont Roach, I don't have a problem with that rematch. I like that rematch. I wanted to see that rematch. Let me remind you that it was actually scheduled. They had a date, a venue, and even a promotional poster from PBC. That just fell through because of the Jake Paul situation came up. They was going to do that exhibition with Jake Paul. And that fell through because of the legal issues. But Lamont Roach got backdoored. He deserved that rematch. He earned that rematch. And he didn't get it. So I'm good with that fight. I think they should make it happen. But of course, we all want to see Tank step in there with Shakur, with Devin, with Tio, with the guys that we consider the best out there. The lunatic libertarian. In my opinion, Spence beat Porter by split decision. Brooks and Ugas, only true welterweights he fought. But that's more holding on to opinion. Because when I look at the resume, I just see a great resume. When you start doing, breaking it down to no, because these are the true, and I felt like this was a split decision. You're now injecting personal opinions into these details to break it down your way. Because when you say, well, in my opinion, right there, you started it with your opinion, right? He beat Porter by split decision. I just see that he beat Porter. What does it matter that it was a split decision? Floyd Mayweather beat Oscar De La Hoya by split decision. That doesn't really matter. He beat him. So you use a split decision as to somehow try to minimize him, but it doesn't. He beat a world champion. Doesn't matter. A lot of people win by split decision. So Brooks, a reigning world champion. Ugas, a reigning world champion. Come on now. So he has a great resume. You can listen. If you got Tim Tszyu beating him, that's what you have. But you don't have to try to break down his resume as the answer to why Tim is gonna do this. Because it doesn't work that way. You know that styles make fights, and it's gonna be between them two, however it plays out. It has nothing to do with Porter or Brooke or Ugas. That has nothing to do with that. It's gonna be Tim and Errol that night. Timmy is taking a couple of beatings too. Nasty beatings. Usually fighters take one beating of a lifetime. Tim has already taken 2 beatings of a lifetime in this one lifetime. You saw what Mortaz Aliyev did to him. You saw what Fundora did to him. And that second fight, the first fight was competitive. That second fight, he got pummeled brutally, badly. So, you can't just take into consideration some things. You're like, oh, well, Errol, he only beat these guys that were true welterweights. Oh, well, damn. Tim has gotten the shit beat out of him twice, bro. So if we start doing that, I can show you that Errol fought more champions than Tim, more highly ranked opponents than Tim, and a lot more better opponents than Tim. If we start going down the list, to when they stopped fighting easy fights and started getting into the tough fights, Errol Spence got more of those than Tim, bro. He got more champions than Tim that he got in the ring with. Pass the track. Spence probably still doesn't feel right. Last fight, a beating, Jay. Errol's last fight was a beating. Tim's wasn't. But a beating from 3 years ago, my nigga, I promise you, he not hurting today. Come on, bro. Come on. Ass whooping from 3 years ago didn't drag. It's just like the car accident. You know how people, the car accident went away to fight Porter and beat a world champion, and then went away to fight Danny Garcia, beat another world champion, beat future Hall of Famers, but the accident came back when he fought Bud. It doesn't work that way. He was good when he fought Crawford, and he's gonna be good when he fights soon now. Mentally, I don't know. That's the one thing that we can't really gauge. Where are you mentally? Or even your punch resistance. You know, when you get hit with a hard shot, how are you gonna react? That's speculations. Those are all speculations. But ultimately, it's about what happens when them two step in the ring. How is it really gonna play out? My personal my personal opinion is that this is gonna be a very competitive fight. Very, very competitive fight. If somebody gets hurt first, like bad, they getting stopped. It could be Tim, it could be Errol. They both been stopped. All that stuff about who you faced in the past, it doesn't matter. Because look, the lunatic libertarian, Brooks win is 10 years ago. And how many years ago was it that Tim took a nasty beating to Tim Tszyu and got stopped? Shit was less than a year ago, bro. It's like, if you pick and choose to formulate an opinion, that's not going to work out too good. Picking and choosing, because who fought more champions? Who's been in there with battle fighters? Who's been in there? Who's accomplished more? Errol. Who has the better resume? Errol. You can't diminish him like that, bro. If you got Tim, you got Tim. But to try to diminish Errol by trying to diminish his opponents and diminish his resume, come on. Come on, the lunatic libertarian. You should know better than that. You're talking about a guy that was a pound for pound fighter that was at one point was going back and forth with Terrence Crawford as to who's the #1 pound for pound fighter in the world. Tim Tszyu hasn't even been close to getting into the pound for pound list. Not even close. Tim Tszyu's career might even play out without him ever stepping foot in a pound for pound list. And you're diminishing Errol's opponents. Like, nah, but these guys were true welterweights. And in reality, Errol didn't. Nah, bro, that's a 3-belt champion who won those belts. Not a single belt via email or via you got promoted to champion. He got all of those inside the ring, bro. And you're trying to say that, nah, because these guys were not really that. And he won by split decision. That's you gotta have an argument based on their skill sets. And it's a fair argument. But you're making the hater argument, lunatic libertarian. That's what we call the hater argument. When you try to diminish opponents. Brooks is a world champion and was a reigning world champion when Errol beat him. Ugas was a reigning world champion when Errol beat him. We, who've been involved with boxing, who's been in the ring trading leather, lunatic, we gotta have more respect for the fighters. We know what that's about. We didn't make it to champions, right? We didn't even make it to contenders. So somebody's sitting on their couch watching TV who never laced on a pair of gloves in their whole life, they could diminish fighters. Oh yeah, that fighter wasn't all that in that fighter. But me and you, bro, who been in the ring, Just think about it. How far did you go in boxing? And you're gonna diminish Porter, Ugas, Kell Brook, world champions. That's not realistic, bro. That's hater stuff. That's hater stuff, my guy. You have to understand it. If you boxed, you understand that it's only a few that go all the way to becoming world champions. So very few, very few people become world champions. In fact, it's less than 1% of fighters in the world. Less than 1% of fighters in the world become world champions. Errol Spence beat 3 champions to earn those 3 belts. And you find a way to diminish it by saying, that's not being real. That's not being realistic, bro. Especially since you box. That's actually being delusional. You box, you know what it takes. If it would have been so easy to be a champion, you would have been showing us your belt right now. You would have been telling us, the lunatic libertarian, man, stop playing. I got my WBC belt right there in the room. And I got my WBA belt right there. And my IBF belt is on top of the TV. But if you don't buy them shits on social media, you're never going to have them. If you don't buy them shit on Amazon Marketplace, on some shit, you're never going to have a belt. You can't disrespect a fighter like that, bro. Look, I'm going to tell you what's hater logic. Hater logic is when, in order to say this guy's going to win, you feel the need to diminish this guy's resume, which is what you're doing. That's hater logic. Instead of just saying, I feel like this guy does this better, this guy does that better, and I feel like this guy's been out of boxing for some time. Yo, you're going all the way back to Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Ugas to say that you felt like those split decisions, those are the only true heavyweights. Huh? Bro, it don't get no more hater than that. It don't get no more hater than that. You're not able to acknowledge Errol Spence as the great fighter that he has already shown to be. Instead, you prefer the hater logic of trying to discredit or diminish his wins. That's hater stuff. When Floyd Mayweather beat Oscar De La Hoya by split decision, did you do that? Did you say, nah, you see, Floyd not really all that because he really won by split decision, really? Come on, bro. You got to have more love and respect for the people that accomplished the things that you and I never could. You and I stepped in the ring. You and I wanted to box. Neither one of us had the talent, the skills, or what it took to become world champions. That's why we're here talking boxing and not stepping in the ring. That's why. Blood Eagle, the lunatic libertarian. Nah. Hating is exactly what you do. You're hating on Spence like crazy. And if you don't believe me, ask the people in the chat. If you sound like you're a hater. Talking about, Ugas and those are the only true welterweights that he fought. That's the most hater shit anybody said this whole morning, bro. B. Wayne. Bub must be hater. That he said Spence wasn't great or a Hall of Famer. He capping. You see, B. Wayne? So here's the difference. And what you might not want to acknowledge. How could your opinion about Errol be the same as the opinion of a guy that whooped his ass? So to you and to me, what happened if you and me get in there with Errol? We get killed. We get sent to the hospital. We leaving in a stretcher. But to Terrence Crawford, who beat the shit out of him, you think he's going to have the same opinion as me and you? Come on, bro. You got to be realistic. Look, I'll even change that example to us in the streets. If you whoop somebody's ass, to you, they a bum. To you, they a bum. But the guy who asked he whooped is never going to say that he a bum because he got his ass whooped by that dude, bro. Why you can't get that? If somebody whooped their ass, that person is going to be like, oh, no, he's not a bum. That's not true. He beat the shit out of me. He can't be a bum. It's that simple. Terrence Crawford beat the living shit out of Errol Spence. Gave him the worst beating of a lifetime that we've seen in the last 30 plus years, my guy. He better than Errol, more accomplished than Errol in every way, shape, or form, every stat that you can measure. Yes, he can say Errol a bum if he wants to. He's a GOAT. Is Errol Spence a Hall of Famer? I don't know. We'll find out. Time will tell us. Time will tell us. In his opinion, Errol's not a Hall of Famer. Hey, he beat the shit out of him. He feel like Errol's not a Hall of Famer. That's his opinion, bro. That's his opinion. You beat the shit out of somebody. You made him look easy. You beat him easier than you beat a lot of people. To you, he's not a Hall of Famer. What's wrong with that? What is really wrong with that? We're saying, yo, not to me, he ain't a Hall of Famer. Beat the shit out of him. That's his opinion, my guy. Come on. He, in his opinion, a guy who he pummeled badly is not a Hall of Famer. That's perfectly reasonable. He's given an opinion about a guy that he stepped in the ring with. Why now? Why he can't do that? But we as fans, we can't discredit Errol, a 3-belt champion who won every single belt inside the ring, a guy who was already a pound-for-pound fighter. At some point, it was Bud and Errol fighting for that #1 spot. We can't discredit him. My point of view on Errol Spence, our point of view on Errol Spence, cannot match Crawford's point of view on Errol. Ain't none of us whooping Errol. Ain't none of us even gonna be at a level where we could sit in the same room, that we're gonna fight and sit in the same room with Errol. We couldn't even make it to an Errol undercard. So the respect that we have for Errol, it can't be the same as the respect or the opinion of a fighter who whooped Errol. Come on now. It can't be. Shaggy, will Spence come back from a beating of a lifetime? Time will tell. Let me point this out. Tim Tszyu came back from a beating of a lifetime. Tim Tszyu came back from 2 beatings of a lifetime. Most people don't even take 2 of those. You saw the fight with Bakr Mortasaliev. You saw the fight with Fundora. 2 beatings of a lifetime. And how he look in his last fight? He looked good. He didn't fight a world champion, but he looked good. He looked like the old Tim Tszyu. Why Errol can't look like the old Errol? We haven't seen him at 160. We haven't seen him at 160. So it's all speculation. I want to see what he's going to look like when he steps in the ring. It's a lot of questions. Fair enough. We don't know if he's going to be slow. We don't know if he's going to be sluggish. We don't know if his rhythm is going to be off. But we also don't know if he had an amazing training camp and he's going to show up looking sharp as hell. What if that happens? What if that happens? If it does, if he show up looking sharp as hell, he's going to beat Tim Tszyu. You're going to beat him. You're going to beat him. But we don't know what we're going to get, my people. The lunatic libertarian. The lunatic libertarian, salute family. You don't turn the screen rainbow today. You turned it green earlier. You turned it blue now. And now you're turning it yellow. Let's do tonight or tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Jay Smith and the Lunatic Talk, Errol Spence versus Tim Tszyu ahead of the Crossroad fight in Australia. Let's do it tonight. Let's do it tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. As a matter of fact, I'm going to even go live with you from the studio. I'm doing the show from the studio tonight. Matter of fact, look, Lunatic. You set up the live and you send me the invite. You set up the live. Send me the invite. You know I'm all for the smoke, and I know you all for the smoke. That's why we can go at it forever. Pass the track. Crawford should have been champion for 8 years, but too much politics. I mean, you know how it goes. Because you think about it, Terrence Crawford should have fought Johnny Beck at 160. Should have been able to fight Johnny Beck at 160. But Johnny Beck popped dirty, and Carlos Adames is the WBC champion. You know, Mauricio the goofball Sulaiman already shitted on Crawford, so he's not going to fight Adames. And he ended up choosing to retire because that accomplishment of winning a title in another division, it wasn't going to be available. TLM. Spencer's going to beat Timmy ass in Australia in front of his family. Whoa. Spencer's going to give him a beating in front of his wife and kids? Damn. Blood Eagle Schmeagle. I won't call anyone who's a professional fighter a bum. Belt or no belt. Or call a guy who had 3 straps a bum. It's diabolical. I mean, it's all about perspective. Look, here it is. Let me tell you like this. And I want you to think about this. Blood Eagle Schmeagle. I really want you to analyze what I'm about to say. I remember, and I'm talking about the 90s. I remember when Michael Jordan, when the Chicago Bulls beat the Utah Jazz. If you're old enough, you probably remember that series. Stockton and Malone and all of that. And after the final game that Jordan cooked them, he was on camera talking about he a bum. They couldn't mess with us. Bumps. Now, is Michael Jordan really saying that the Utah Jazz was bums? Or that's just trash talking because we beat your ass? Trash talking, my people, has been a part of sports since sports were invented. You can find champions in different sports calling other champions bums after they beat them. That's part of the sports. We go play basketball together. I beat you by 1 point and I'm calling you a bum. You beat me 5 games in a row. The last game I beat you by 1 point. I'm still calling you a bum. And I'm not giving you a rematch. I'm the last to win. You a bum. So calling somebody a bum has always been a part of the sport. Of every sport. People calling each other bums. That's trash talking. But one thing is athletes trash talking amongst each other and fans who never laced on a pair of gloves trying to tell you that a champion is a bum. What are you doing? I understand Michael Jordan calling people a bum, calling world champions bums. He the GOAT. He call a bum to whoever he want. 6-0 in the finals. Everybody's a bum to you when you feel like it. I bow down to you. But me, I can't call the Utah Jazz bums. World championship caliber players, NBA players. Well, I didn't make it past junior high school, junior varsity, junior high school little kids team. And I'm going to say NBA players are bums? Come on. Come on, my peoples. We got to see the difference between athletes trash talking amongst each other versus us trying to play them, trying to act like they not that good and they not that. Nah. Athletes have a right to formulate a different opinion than us. They're all great in front of us. Beat Wayne. Athletes give fans the rope when they say that and discredit their opponents. Now, they don't give fans the rope to anything because fans make stuff up out of thin air, bro. A fighter could lose today and fans already decided that they're hyped out, that they're not that good, that they so on and so forth. You don't need a fighter to try to discredit another fighter. You do that on your own without no help from anybody. Look at Shakur. Shakur's a sellout. The first people I seen say he a sellout because he went to Zuffa was the Tank Davis fans. The same Tank Davis fans that was telling me, you hating on Tank, he's going to get the bag with Jake Paul. He's going to get the bag with Jake Paul. That's what's really about. Well, now Shakur's going to get the bag with Zuffa. Why he a sellout for getting the bag and real fights, but Tank Davis was not a sellout for getting the bag in a fake fight, an exhibition fight. The logic changes. You see, there's logic. Fans have logic for one fighter and logic for another fighter. Me, I don't have a logic per fighter. Everybody's the same. Everybody's the same. JJ said that. Just like when Joe Louis used to fight bum of the month. You see? And we could focus on that, or we could focus on the things he accomplished. But the reality is, a lot of fighters, you could label them however you want, and that's just gonna be your personal opinion. Is there gonna be trash talking? Like, what is a bum? Think about it. What is really a bum? A bum, it could be. Let's give a bum a description. A bum, what we describe as a bum, right, in boxing. A bum is a guy who can't fight, and we determine that he can't fight because he's getting beat up by everybody. The Hydro Grind, bam, salute my brother. A bum is a guy who has a record with 2 wins and 10 losses, who 5 wins and 5 wins. A bum is a guy who he got a job, and on weekends he training boxing, and once in a while he lands a fight and get beat up. That's a bum. But we as fans, we can't put a bum label on a guy that's a world champion, especially those fans who've been an amateur boxer, those fans who had the opportunity to step in the ring. We know how hard it is. Forget about becoming a champion. Most of us don't even become ranked. You can't even be ranked. There's nobody in here with the talent to be a ranked fighter. Ranked 50th, 60th. We can't even get that. And we're going to call a world champion a bum? That's crazy. No world champion is a bum. But trash talking is part of the sport. So if another world champion beat him, yeah, he's going to call him a bum. Not always, but it happens. Hey, you're a bum. That's trash talking. That is trash talking. TLM, is Greg Hackett a bum? No, he's not a bum. You know why? Because he's not dedicated to boxing. I mean, you could say you could call him that if you want to, but Greg Hackett is a coach. Greg Hackett, a great coach, by what a lot of people say. He a coach. He a creator. He's a lot of things. You're not a bum because you're not a boxer. You don't know Greg Hackett for being a boxer. That's like me. You could call me, look at my record. You could look me up on Pro Box. I'm 0-1. You could call me a bum, but I'm not a boxer. I'm not a boxer. At 44 years old, I decided, damn, before I become an old man, I want to get at least one professional fight. I stepped in the ring with a 35-year-old. He beat me. Maybe you could say, yo, you're a bum. I'm not going to be insulted by that. No, I'm not a boxer. Boxer Trap, a sparring partner that fights the dude he's been sparring and works out a deal to lose in the ring. I mean, that happens. That happens. There's deals in boxing and wins that are bought and all of that stuff. Matter of fact, there was a guy recently on the news that he was like, he backed out of a fight because a promoter told him straight up, listen to this, his career payday. He was going to get a career payday, and it was $15,000. That was a career payday for him. And this dude, I think from Venezuela, with a record of like 26-0, dreams of becoming a world champion. And they offered $15,000 to take an L, to lose. He was like, nah, he told me straight up, He's gonna give me 15 and I'll take an L. And I said, hell no. I'm broke, I'm struggling, but I'm not gonna sell my O. Just like that. What happens in boxing? When I fought, I could have guaranteed myself a win. When I fought, I could have looked for an opponent and be like, yo, I'm gonna give you this much. Get your ass whooped. I could have did that. But nah, that's not what I needed. That's not the rush that I was looking for. I got what I wanted. I got what I needed. I didn't get the final result that I wanted, but I stood in the ring. I traded leather with somebody. I dropped my opponent. He dropped me. The crowd was going crazy. The fight was televised. I experienced what it is to be in a training camp, to cut weight. I experienced what it is to be in the back getting hands wrapped. And when they come and they tell you, yo, in 10 minutes, you're up. I know what it is to not to watch the ring walk, but to be the guy walking to the ring. I know the sensation of when you walking and everybody there is looking at you. I know what it is to step in the ring and you and your opponent staring in each other's eyes and that whole crowd is looking at you. That's it. I got what I wanted. That feeling that I wanted, I got it. One fight. I said it before, it was a one-shot deal. I need to get one fight in. By the way, I tried to get the rematch. For whatever reason, I couldn't get it. It couldn't get made. I don't know why. I don't even know how to answer that. I told the promoter mad time, yo, come on, man, let's get that rematch. Let's get that rematch. Matter of fact, y'all don't even need no money. Let's just get the rematch. Nigga, I would have fought for free just to get that rematch, but it couldn't happen. That's it. I could live with that. TLM, I call no fighter a bump, period. You step in the ring and put your life on the line. I don't use bumps with guts. You know what? That's one thing, man, that it really hit me when I fought. Posture track. Need the eye of the Tiger J. Smith. Bumps I use with people that do nothing but freeload. Oh, yeah, but that's a different type of bumps. Those are real bumps. You're talking about literally a bump. But let me just say this, man. When it comes to fighting, there's one moment. There's different moments that hit me leading up to the fight. But the moment that I remember the most, outside of the training stuff, is when they gave me that contract for me to sign. I'm scanning through it. And then I get to that part where you basically agreeing that if you get killed in the ring or if you sustain an injury in the ring that leads to your death, your family cannot take no type of legal action on the promoter, the venue, or anybody associated with the fight. Every time you sign a boxing contract, my peoples, you sign your life away. The moment I step in the ring, anything can happen, and I agree that I understand that. And the one difference that I've noticed from fighting as a pro, versus fighting as an amateur, is the headgear and the glove size. Getting punched in the head from somebody that's giving you everything they got, and them gloves is small and compact as hell, and you don't got nothing in your face. I will hit this dude and I will feel my glove compressing and hit my knuckle. Like I will feel like I'm punching this nigga forehead with my knuckles. And when he hit me at times, I felt like it was his fist. Gloves is small and tight as hell. So it's a big difference when you get in there with somebody. And another difference between the pros and the amateurs, the amateurs, you're trying to score points. That's it. Most amateur fights go the distance. Most amateur fights go the distance. So you're fighting for points. You're trying to get the most points. In professional boxing, lots of fights go the distance too, but you're not just trying to score points. You're really trying to hurt each other. You're really swinging for the fences like you don't see much in the amateurs. I'm not saying in the amateurs you don't swing for the fences, but not like in the pros, and not with that clean face that you got. Bloody Guzmigo. Was you fighting on 8-ounce gloves? Damn, I can't remember. But damn, yo, if you see a man, them shit look like 6 ounce. Them shit look like they was 6 ounce, bro. They look small and tight as hell. Pass the track. Imagine getting smacked by Zap, a professional in his prime. Damn, screw that. And I got to box with a professional fighter. I got to spar. I got to spar with a couple of professional fighters. One of them was Agapito Sanchez, world champion. This dude was not when he sparred with me, he wasn't a world champion. But if you look at Agapito Sanchez, this guy fought to a draw with Manny Pacquiao when Manny Pacquiao was destroying everybody, dishing out pummelings left and right. And at that time, he got a draw with Pac-Man. And I stepped in the ring to spar with him. And we were supposed to do 5 rounds. And my coach pulled me out after the 3rd because he was cooking me to the body. Cooking me with some hard shots. He started going like a bit hard. I still remember you at the, like, he was taking it every time. And that's normal. When you see a professional with an amateur, they're always going to take it easy. That's always the case. So he was taking it mad easy on me. No right hands. He didn't throw not even one right hand. And he was only going to the body and letting me dictate the pace and countering me, right? He was taking it easy. But at the end of the 2nd round, I caught him with a good shot. If you put an average Joe with a great fighter, you could catch him with 1 or 2. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's the inevitable. I caught him with that right hand at the end of the 2nd round. Boom! And he just looked at me, and right there the bell went off. Bing, bing, bing. And I walked to my corner feeling nervous. Like, damn, I caught him, B. And I sit there. My coach is like, le diste una buena. Y oíste, prepárate. We gave him a good one. Be ready. We come out for the 3rd round. And right away, his facial expression looked way different. It wasn't smiling no more. He came out. And as soon as I jabbed, he slipped it. Bam, bam. Left, right. I backed away. Ooh, I felt that. Damn, hard shots. And he hadn't been using his right hand. Now he used it on my body. Okay. We still going. Jabbing, jabbing. Again, I try the right hand. Slip it. Bam, bam. 2 more to the body. And then finally, he jabbed me. And this only happens when you're an amateur. When you're not developed like that. He jabbed me, but my feet wasn't set the way they should have been. My feet was almost like this. I was basically almost standing up like this. Instead of, having my stance, my feet was too close together. So he jabbed the shit out of me, which I wasn't expecting, and backed me up into the ropes. So when I went into the ropes, I immediately went into the shell. Yo, he will hit me right here, mad hard. Bam, bam. I feel those. I will open it up like that. Then he will go right down the middle. Bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Yo, this dude gave me like 5, 6 shots to the body straight. They all landed clean. Bam, 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 bam. Like I'm crying, but I can't block him. He's too fast. He's way too advanced for me. The round ended, and my coach was like, "We good, yo. Agapito, thank you. Thank you, we good." And I went to him, I appreciate you, bro. And that was the last time. My coach never put me in with him again. We sparred 3 times. After that one, we never sparred. I didn't pee blood, luckily, but I was hurt for like 3, 4 days. like 3-4 days, bro, that I would raise my arms and be like, oh shit. Anything I be doing, like I be, I could be talking. Yo, what's up? Oh shit. God damn. Both sides, bro. That nigga cooked me on both sides. Pasta try, yo, Jay, we gotta sit this one out. Yeah, we gotta sit this one out. Gotta sit this one out. But that happens in boxing. An amateur try to get too slick, and the pro is gonna handle business. Remind you that, yo, we're not on the same level. And I knew we wasn't on the same level. Don't get it twisted. It's like I told you, he was the first 2 rounds, he was just playing with me. And then we sparred 3 times. I want you to think about this. We sparred 3 times, and the only thing that he ever put in my face was the jab. I never caught a right hand to the face. I never caught a left hook to the dome piece. None of it. He never hit me in the face. Not once. Because he was taking it easy. This dude could have knocked me out in the first round if he wanted to. But when I got a little bit too happy, he reminded me what's good. TLM. We good over here, bro. We don't need that type of action. Pasta trap. He just made sure you knew. Or I knew, but he reminded me, like, don't play yourself. I show you. Blood Eagle Smeagol. That's how you become a pro. Fight a pro. Bro, this guy, because here's the thing. When you step in the ring with somebody that's so many levels above you, they could do whatever they want with you. They could literally do whatever they want. Yo, I boxed this kid who had a record like 5-0, and he was there to help me, right? Every time I only sparred professionals when I was when I was preparing for the Golden Gloves. And this kid who was a professional, yo, I couldn't touch him. When I tell you I couldn't touch him, and he not even hitting me back, I'm getting frustrated because he not hitting me back. Like I'm telling him, yo, tú me puedes dar, loco, you can hit me, bro. But I didn't know that what they were doing is working on their defense and slipping punches. He was in training camp too. So I'm preparing for the gloves, but he prepared for his own fight. And this kid would spar with me, and he would only use the jab. No right hand, no left hook, no nothing to the body, just a jab. Jabbing the shit out of my mouthpiece. Jabbing the shit out of my nose piece. And I'm frustrated because he wouldn't even hit me with nothing else but the jab. And I would do everything I can. You know them fighters? You know them fighters that will stand right there in the same spot? That type of motherfucker. You're right there throwing punches for your life. You can't land anything. Can't. And the funny thing is that I seen him sparring with other pros and like really going at it. Pam, 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 pam. They going back and forth. But then when homie get in there with me, I can't even touch his face. I can't even touch his face. I got my coach over there telling me, yo, go to the body. Go to the body, Jay. You're not touching him to the face. You don't see what's going on. You don't see what's going on out there. Blood Eagle Smeagol, Pernell Whitaker, that type shit. Get you frustrated because you just can't hit him. That's what happens when you step in the ring with somebody that's too advanced for you. I stepped in the ring. Let me put it to you like this. In my preparation for the Golden Gloves, my regular sparring partners, I had 3 sparring partners, and all 3 of them were also preparing for the Golden Gloves. Yo, 2 brothers, one of them won the gloves 2 years in a row in open class, and he was going to fight that year. That's one of my sparring partners. The other brother won the gloves. No, he won it once, and he was going that year, which he also won it that year. Those are my 2 sparring partners, bro. Those who've been winning the Golden Gloves. And then I got to spar with a couple of professional fighters too. So I got my ass whooped a lot. before I started like actually competing with the amateur fighters that I was sparring with. Because all the amateurs that I was sparring with was a lot more experienced than I was. I was in there doing my thing. TLM, it be teens beating grown men up that want to give boxing a try. Oh my God, bro. You don't even know how factual that is. Look, I'm going to tell you a funny story. And this is Gleason's. I'm gonna give you a Gleason's gym funny story. Yo, this dude goes to the gym on some. I'll fight anybody if they my size. I'm whooping them. I think right now Gleason's gym is in Manhattan, but it used to be in Brooklyn. It used to be by Front Street. When I was in Gleason's gym, like, that was like the most iconic spot that they've had, because Gleason's has been in different places. But when Mike Tyson was going there, when De La Hoya, when Trinidad was going there, when all these people, that's the Brooklyn spot. But I digressed. I still remember this dude goes there to the gym. He wanna beat anybody up, anybody. Yeah, Mike Tyson used to train in Gleason's. And you know what a coach did with him, bro? We talking about a dude that's, somebody like in his 30s, maybe 40s, built, kind of strong. Somebody who you could tell, stays fit, stays in good shape. Yo, he got this dude, literally a kid, a 13-year-old kid. You're gonna box him? Nah, you crazy. That's a little boy. I'll beat the shit out that little boy. You crazy? When I tell you that this kid was nice, I'm talking about Golden Glove winner, Metros winner, National Open winner, all type of shit winner. This kid beat the shit out of that grown man so bad. Like, gave him the beating of a lifetime from the very first belt. Like, dominated him. Ragged. Yo, imagine a grown man getting beat up, trying to grab a little kid to stop the beating, and get ragdolled. Get off of me. Get off of me. A little kid beat the shit out of him, bro. And that's not the only instance. And I promise you, it's not the only gym. Coaches be doing that shit. You're all head going in the gym, talk about you beat anybody your size. They gonna get you a little kid, bro. Gonna get you a little kid here, yeah, do it with him. Have a 12, 13-year-old beat the shit out of you. Just so that you understand that boxing, there's levels. It don't matter how many punches or how good or how many dudes you beat up in the streets. Dudes be going to the gym talking about, yeah, I'm 50-0 in the streets, and then get battered by a little kid. Posse track, like those little TIE fighters, they're 9-year-olds, beat our ass. Oh my God. You imagine one of us trying to get one of them 10-year-old Muay Thai fighters that been kicking coconut trees? Bloody Eagle. Somebody his size would have killed them. My God. B Wing, Bill 50-0. I'm telling you, in the streets, everybody undefeated. But that's in the streets. You step in a gym, and that undefeated record get took on the spot by a little kid. Just think about it. Some kid who his mom's is making his ice cream and driving him to junior high school will beat the shit out of you. And then eat a bowl of cereal. Fruity Pebbles. You don't want that. You don't want to. We can't be that dude, bro. You're going to sit in the gym with a swollen eye, a broken nose, a busted lip, and watch the nigga that beat your ass eating some Fruit Loops? Come on, man. We can't do that to ourselves, my peoples. Don't do it. Concentrate. Imagine Tyson was 15 and smoking 30-year-old professionals. That must have been something to see. Oh man, Tyson was. Well, in our lifetime, we'll probably not see another Mike Tyson. You got to understand, Mike Tyson was the scariest fighter that we ever seen. And I'm not just saying that. We just got to look at the footage. Look at Mike Tyson doing his ring walk. And the opponent in the ring looking at Mike like this. Like their life is about to be over, bro. Like it's over. When have we seen that? Look at the ring walk. And look at those faces about to fight Mike. Like, that's it. I'm done. They coming for me. Pasatrack, not a heavyweight. B. Wayne, I tell my dad all the time. There are 15-year-olds that will send those to the ER. Oh my, there's 13-year-olds. Even 12-year-olds. Bro, I seen a 12-year-old the other day hitting the bag. 6 feet tall. 160 pounds. 12. Man, listen, this kid will beat the shit out of all of us. Back to back. Back to back, we all taking a beating of a lifetime from a little kid that get driven to school by his mom. TLM. Young Torito was stocky and mad short. Beat my ass. That days be different. Oh, them stocky motherfuckers. Pasatrack. I know a lot of people say what if Cuz didn't die, but if Cuz didn't die, Mike would have been a lot better. Probably he would have been better. Probably, but Cuz developed him enough to become what he did. The thing is that he was the only person who could tell Mike Tyson, who could say, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Mike Tyson even said that he was scared of him. You could look it up. Mike Tyson said, I was scared of him. So once he died, there was nobody to control Mike anymore. That's it. When he was in training camp, he wanted to go party, wanted to go hang out with the hoes. Who was going to say no to Mike? Everybody's scared. Look at what he lost. Look at what he lost to James Buster Douglas. His first L, which I cried, by the way. I cried, bro. Can't believe it. I cried. Tears when he lost to Buster Douglas. Mike was literally in Tokyo sniffing coke and hanging out with prostitutes the weekend of the fight. He lost to Buster Douglas, but it was a perfect storm for him to lose. Number one, Douglas had the best training of his life. This guy's mom just died. He's dedicating this fight to her. Buster Douglas always fights out of shape, fat. The one time he was disciplined for a training camp was that one. Showed up the best Buster Douglas he ever been. And he showed up to fight a Mike Tyson that was on a coke binge, fucking with prostitutes, fucking with mushroom, living crazy. And now the next day, let's go fight Buster Douglas. We're going to get rid of him quick and easy. And that's the way that it played out. By the way, Buster Douglas is a lot better than history remembers him. He's a lot better than what people say he is. He's a real good fighter. Had a discipline problem. Had a weight problem that he couldn't overcome. He beat Mike Tyson. The very next fight, he showed up like 20, 30 pounds heavier for Evander Holyfield and got stopped. And then he never got in good shape after that. So Buster Douglas is a victim of his body, of him not being able to stay in shape. TLM, Buster had a lot on his heart too. That's facts. That's facts. TLM, people thought that my friend Tyson to lose, that he knew the fight because people couldn't believe it. And that always happens. Didn't you see when Jake Paul beat the shit out of Mike Tyson? People didn't want to believe that it was real. They wanted to believe that it was scripted. But have you ever seen a 50-year-old something beat a 20-year-old something in boxing? No, you haven't seen it. And you never will see it. It never will happen. It's never going to happen. Oh, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul played out the way that it was supposed to. But people can't accept the reality because they thought Mike Tyson was going to be the old Mike Tyson in that fight. Buster trap. Buster just wasn't disciplined exactly. Yeah, he had that problem. But if you look at Buster Douglas, he was a very skilled fighter. And if you look at his very best fight, which was his performance against Mike Tyson, the counter punching, the light on his toes, the jab was crazy. He had jabbing the shit out of Mike Tyson's face. The right hand, brutal, sharp. The mechanics looking good. But the very next fight, he was like 20, 30 pounds overweight and got beat up easy. I made to look like a goofball. So he couldn't be consistent with staying in shape and paid the price for it. Pasta track. No, Mike fought his ass off in the Douglas fight. I mean, he fought his ass off, but he wasn't the same guy. You know why? Think about it, Pasta track. The punches that he was landing on Buster Douglas that night, he knocked everybody out with those punches. He wasn't himself, bro. He did his best. And he a world champion and a skilled fighter. But bro, even Mike Tyson has told the stories of what he was doing in Tokyo, like literally the night before the fight. The night before the fight, bro, he was getting crazy in Tokyo. Went to sleep, woke up, and went to fight. Yo, drugs and prostitution don't go with boxing, my G. That's a bad mix. JJ said, God bless Jay Smith and the Box Center family. My brother, bam, salute. AR6, he was partying before that fight in Tokyo. Mike Tyson didn't do his best. No. What I mean is that night he did the best he could, but he wasn't himself because he was living crazy. You partying in Tokyo, you doing drugs, you sleeping with prostitutes. You're not your best self. That's what I'm saying. TLM, Tyson was sleeping with tigers and had 4 women and coke. Come on, bro. You're getting twisted up the day before the fight. That tells you what it is. You see, here's the thing, though. If Mike Tyson would have been fighting a bum in Tokyo, he would have won the fight. Even with the prostitutes, even with the coke and all whatever he did the day before, he would have beat a bum. Buster Douglas was no bum, and that's what people made a mistake. And Mike Tyson underestimated him. Buster Douglas turned out to be mad skilled. And if you think about it, you don't see people talking about Buster Douglas' skills. He's portrayed as the biggest upset in boxing history because he's a bum and he beat a champion. But yo, if you watch Buster Douglas, those of us who've seen him fight, nothing about him say that he a bum. Nothing. We just know that he couldn't stay in shape. He couldn't get in shape. That's it. But skills-wise, when you look at the jab, the right hand, the combinations, the counter punching, the footwork, the mechanics, Buster Douglas was mad nice. An elite level fighter. Elite. His offensive output, his offensive weapons, elite. But he couldn't stay in shape. That's how he paid the price. Pugilism. Built on TBV and can't help but repeat my interpretation. Zulfa and Devin are 2 sides of the same umbrella. Key is the lead. Okay, you could keep going with that. I told you Keyshawn and Devin is not going to fight. When you found out, just make sure you come back and tell me all that stuff you said was wrong. B. Wayne, Jay Smith, where you at when Buster beat Tyson? When Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, I was in Manhattan, New York City, uptown. I was actually watching the fight in my house. No. I wasn't watching the fight in my house. I was watching a fight in a friend's house. A group of us watching it on pay-per-view. And that's the way. Was we watching? I think we was watching on one of those black boxes that you press the little button on it. Remember that? And played out the way that it did. TLM, Hasim Rahman come to mind after Lewis. Funny thing about Hasim Rahman and Lennox Lewis is that he knocked out Lennox Lewis and refused to give him the rematch, although there was a rematch clause because he wasn't a mandatory. And the rematch clause, he didn't want to honor it, bro. Lennox Lewis had to take him to court. And here's the thing, when he took him to court, Hasim Rahman couldn't fight nobody until he fight Lennox Lewis. So he had to give him the rematch. And then you guys know how the rematch played out. Knocked him out. So if you have a rematch clause and you lose, they got to give it to you. They can't try to work their way out of it. Now, Xander Sayers, he's not going to exercise a rematch clause with Jaron Boots Ennis. Because after taking the beating of a lifetime, you don't want to rematch a guy and take a second beating that early in your career. Pasta track. I was 10 years old. Oh, now when that fight happened, I was already like 14, maybe 14. I don't remember my age. Obviously that was a long time ago. But I was like 14 and hurt. TLM, the black hotbox button in the back to clear the screen. There you go. There you go. Perfect image. Let's watch boxing. B. Wayne. Those are memories that will last a lifetime, of course, bro. You see, if you're in your 40s, even in your late 30s, or in your 30s maybe, we're the best generation. You know why we're the next generation? And that's just opinion. That's just opinion, right? There's no such thing. Anybody can say they're the best generation. But I'm going to tell you why I say that about us. We experienced life before social media and after social media. We experienced life without the internet and with the internet. That's it. Future generations won't know what that's like. Remember when we all went outside in front of the building or in front of the house and we started playing hide and go seek, or we started playing tags, or when we got on our bicycles from Manhattan and went all the way to Central Park at 10 years old? That's a mission. Our parents don't know that we're going all the way to Central Park, and they don't know that we're going to go all the way to the Bronx, and we're going to go to the Brooklyn Bridge in our bicycles next week on the low. These kids are sitting down playing with a tablet and with their new iPhone. They never going to experience what we experienced. They don't live in the same world that we experienced. So we got to experience the hands-on world. I'm going to put it to you like this. Look at the difference. I remember driving from New York to New Hampshire. It's a 3.5 hour drive, right? And I remember stopping at a gas station, grabbing a map, looking at the highway, the I-95. It goes through Connecticut. Then I got to go through the Mass Turnpike. And I'm following the highway where I'm supposed to go to get to New Hampshire. And then actually doing it. Bang. Now you just put it on the GPS. And the GPS takes you over there. But it's a different experience. Life was a whole different experience for us back then. And now we get to enjoy the social media era and the digital age. But what was before that, Damn, my peoples. We got to enjoy special moments that our kids won't get to have. TLM, if these kids get a scrape or a bruise, they hurt like Errol Spence. Those butt fight. Oh my God. It's different now. You see, we grew up in an era where bullying was when, a big guy punch a little guy. That's bullying. The big guy hit the little guy. That's bullying. This era, that kid say to that kid, "Oh, you ugly." That's bullying now, bro. Do you know the kind of? I grew up in New York City. You know the kind of roasting sessions that you have to endure growing up in New York. Now it's bullying. Now everything is bullying. That's why the kids is soft. Somebody can't even tell you ugly ass that you ugly because you being bullied. No, you ugly. Pass a track. Bullying was getting your ass kicked. Exactly. Those jumping the dude, that was bullying. Now, bro, you tell somebody that they ugly, you're a bully. Somebody fat, you're a bully. Somebody skinny, you're a bully. Anything you say that they don't like is bullying. We live in a different era, my peoples. We live in, that's just what it is. My peoples. That is it for this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in today. I started a little bit late because I'm still working on the studio, fellas. You guys don't know, man. I'm not even sleeping much. I'll be in the studio till like 2 in the morning setting up shop for you guys. So every day we get closer. Every day you've seen that I've done some episodes of Boxing for Breakfast from the studio, but I can't do it consistently. I can't do it every day because there's a lot of things that I'm working on. But I promise you, my peoples, Boxing for Breakfast is gonna kick off, exclusively from the studio real soon. And I got some real special things coming up for you guys. Some members only content that I've been posting, but that will be coming up. A members only live, my people. Think about becoming a member of this channel. If you're a member of another channel, forget that channel. Become a member here because you're going to get some stuff that you just can't get nowhere else. And of course, I'm going to see you guys later today because I'm going to do a test for the equipment that I have. So we'll go live again later and see if I could get it popping over here. So again, one love to everybody who tuned in. Pass the track, B. Wayne, TLM, the letter M, the Lunatic Libertarian, JJ Zendejas, and everybody else who tuned in this morning, my peoples. I appreciate y'all. Everybody who hit the like button, I appreciate you. Everybody who did hit the like and ghost watch, I appreciate you too. At least you tuned in, man. My peoples, one love. I'm out of here.